And finally on to Unit 3. Now this is heavily related to both Unit 1 and 2. And if you remember, Unit 1 is electricity in the house, how it's utilized, as well as renewables and other things that go into that. But of course, somewhere along the way there is electricity flying in, and it goes across these low voltage lines, transformers, these types of things. Eventually going into somewhere where there's a high tension line, high voltage lines for moving over longer distances. But of course, somewhere we have that electricity generation. And if it happens to be fossil fuel combustion, then coming out of the stack, we of course have some greenhouse gases, carbon dioxide being certainly one of the most important. We're also going to have some particulate matter, let's say PM10, PM2.5, which will be more relevant in this unit later on, as well as other pollution emissions such as sulfur dioxide and NOx. If we go back to our automobile, see if I can do a better one. Or a Volkswagen this time. So here's a car. Again, I'm not too sure which is the back, but let's call it this way. Of course, coming out of here as well, I get things like carbon dioxide, and I get carbon monoxide. You don't want to have that being breathed in. It's going to steal away and connect your hemoglobin, and essentially you're going to suffocate because it's not going to do its job of shuttling oxygen to you and carbon dioxide away from your cells. Again, more particulate matter, soot particularly for diesel, again PM10, PM2.5, as well as I think, volatile organic compounds. Again, those contribute to environmental challenges. So, Unit 3 tackles these things. And so we have climate change. Obviously an important challenge that we have to face, and so we're discussing both the cause, the impacts, and to the degree possible, the potential solutions. So this is dealing with things like CO2 sequestration, where we put CO2 into the ground and lock it away. CO2 storage would be the more common term now. The other environmental challenge we are looking at would be smog and particulate matter, which is related to regional haze. So this relates to both emissions coming from my VOCs, as well as my NOx, and of course I'm also getting NOx out of my vehicles as well. And so again, another issue that we are facing with, and something we have to deal with. So these are two of the environmental challenges. We also have acid deposition. You would call it acid rain. I'm going to call it acid deposition. And of course here we have things like NOx going into the atmosphere, where it's going to form an acid. So nitric acid, HNO3, sulfur dioxide. We do have some sulfur emissions coming out of here, but we've cleaned it up quite dramatically. Sulfur dioxide coming out of here is going to go to H2SO4, sulfuric acid. When sulfuric acid rains down, so we put a tree, and it could be raindrops, it could be snow, it could be hail. There's also a dry deposition. And there's runoff into the rivers. Of course, this acid deposition is problematic. It's going to eat away at statues, limestone. It's going to make our water acidic. It's going to make some of our waterways inhabitable, things like that. And so again, we're going to hit at least 3 aspects for each of these: cause, impact, and solutions. Acid deposition as well. Cause, impact, and solutions. And that's pretty much the coverage of Unit 3. As you'll see, Unit 1 and Unit 2 2, both feed into this unit. So it's highly related. You can get by with just studying this component, but the very good students will understand how things are all connected together. See you online.